Client appreciation events are the secret sauce to building long-lasting client relationships. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of throwing wonderful events for your clients, let's talk about why client appreciation events are so essential to growing your real estate business. Client appreciation events matter for three reasons. They build trust, they generate repeat business, and they differentiate you from all the other real estate agents that are out there doing business in your area. These events really build trust with your clients because it shows that you care far beyond the transaction. It shows that you want to have a relationship with them and you're doing something that's just for them, simply to say, hey, I really appreciate you. The second reason that these client events really matter is repeat business. They are a great way to have your existing clients invite friends or family to these events. We call it a friends and family pass for ours, and that really helps grow your sphere. And they are more likely to refer you because you're in these settings with them that are more social settings, and they're just recommending you, saying, hey, this person was a wonderful agent, you should get to know them. And the last reason is differentiation. And so many agents just don't throw events. Events are talked about a lot in the real estate industry, but the amount of agents that actually take the time to consistently put them on is very, very small. And you can really stand out from the crowd by showing your clients that you are different and you're not just in it for a transaction. You truly do care about them, their lives, and you want to be a part of their lives. So now that you know why client appreciation events matter, I'm going to guide you through creating a memorable experience for your clients through these appreciation events. And first up is determining who is your target audience for the event that you are going to be planning. And this is really important because a lot of us, and I include myself in this, we have a ton of past clients, but they may be different. You know, there could be couples who have children, couples who don't have children. There could be empty nesters. There could be first-time home buyers. There's so many varieties of clients that a lot of us work with, especially when we are working with our sphere of influence, not necessarily our niche. And because of that, when you are just beginning to think about planning a client event, you really want to determine who this event is going to be for. Think about their lifestyle. Think about what they do and don't like to do. Think about the timing of the event so that it fits with their lifestyle. That is first up on your list to determine who the audience this event is going to be for. And that could mean that you need to have multiple events in order to make sure that everyone is going to have something that they would be interested in attending when it comes to your sphere of influence. That leads us to the next step, which is selecting a concept. So you have your target audience, and now you want to think about what event is it that this audience would really love that you're going to be inviting. So you need to start thinking about the activities and the venue and what the overall concept of this event is going to be based on. The third step is selecting a date and a time. And this also goes back to your target audience of determining what is going to work best for them. If you are catering to families and your event is a family-based event, well, having it late in the evening probably is not going to be the best idea. So really think about the lifestyle of your target audience, think about how old they are, their family makeup, and then select the date and the time based off of that. And you also want to think about your venue. So if you really aren't sure, maybe you need some ideas, you can also poll your target audience. So whoever you're planning on inviting, set up a poll. You can do it on Facebook, you can send out an email. There's a lot of different ways that you can do it. But ask them for feedback if you want to get their input for the event, the date, and the time. Number 4 is determining your ideal outcome. So when you are in the planning phase of this event in its infant stages, think about what you want to have in terms of the outcome of this event. Are you just trying to give back to your clients and you're really not looking for any outcome? Are you trying to build your online reviews? Are you trying to get referrals? Are you trying to grow your database? Are you trying to get material for social media? There's a lot of different outcomes, and you don't have to pick just one, but I wouldn't pick more than one or two max, I would say, because What will happen if you don't have a desired outcome, then it's just going to be all over the place and you're not really targeting in on what you're trying to gain from this event. And yes, client appreciation events are absolutely to show your appreciation to your clients, but you're still running a business, so you have to be thinking about what your ideal outcome is and what you want to walk away from, because that will then factor into the planning of the event and how it's set up. And that leads me to my next step, which is be mindful of your budget. You do not have to break the bank to throw a really killer client appreciation event, but you need to know your budget up front. So you want to first get a number in mind of what you're able to spend, and then you're going to break that down for the cost of the venue, food, beverages, giveaways, activities, signs. There's a lot of different components that you can or cannot factor into your event. They're not necessarily required, but you want to then assign a dollar amount to each of those and then start making calls to see if you are going to be able to stay within your budget, or maybe you need to trim a little bit here and there. And that leads me to number 6, and that's recruiting sponsors. Sponsors are a fantastic way to keep your budget in check while also bringing in some of the vendors that you work with regularly and send business to get their buy-in. So maybe you have a preferred lender and a preferred title company. We'll just keep it really basic. Reach out to that lender, reach out to that title company and say, this is my idea. This is when I'm going to be having this event. And I would love for you to not only attend, but be a sponsor as well. And I recommend creating sponsorship packages so that you actually have something to present to them. The more you do these events and the more successful your vendors see they are, they're really not going to care too much about the sponsorship packages. But if you've never thrown an event before and you don't have your concept really dialed in to show them that this is worth their investment, you could have trouble getting buy-in, where if you create a sponsorship package that shows them exactly what the amount of money they are committing gets them, then that surely paints a better picture and something that's more clear, and you're more likely to get buy-in from them. Pro tip, do not forget to track your budget at all times and your sponsors as well. I would say when you set your budget and you get your sponsors buy-in, add 10% to that. That could be for unexpected expenses. It could be if somebody drops out. There's a lot of varying factors with events, so you want to give yourself that little bit of cushion. Now let's talk about your invitations. And for invitations, there's a variety of ways that you can go about it. Personally, I recommend and use Eventbrite. Do not use Evite. That is the only thing that I can say steer clear of, because it will end up in a lot of your clients' spam and they'll never know they were invited to something. Eventbrite is fantastic because it allows me not only to set up different RSVP questions, it obviously allows me to track when people are responding. Pro tip, I like to respond. If someone responds yes, I comment and let them know I'm looking forward to seeing them and so happy they can come. For anyone that can't make it, I respond and let them know I'll miss them. So you're still creating those touch points, and Eventbrite makes that super easy. The other thing about Eventbrite is it allows you to follow up after the event, and I love that as well. I pair the Eventbrite invitations with a mix of emails from Flowdesk sending updates about the event and also reminders. And then the other thing that I recommend doing is if you have people who haven't responded at all, no matter how you sent the invitation, either pick up the phone or send them a text, whatever seems appropriate, and just let them know that you wanted to make sure they received the invitation and that you would love to see them there. Again, it creates another touch point. That is one of the great things about client appreciation events. Just the invites alone, you're creating touch points with your database, and that's always a win. Next is marketing your event, and this is where Canva comes in. Canva is a win every time on marketing your events. And keep in mind when you are creating your marketing that client appreciation events shouldn't be one and done. You should have a couple throughout the year, and I would say even some that just become a tradition. You've got to test a little bit in the beginning to see what works, but when you're creating your marketing, be thinking about using it long term, because it will save you so much time as you continue to do these events. events. Think about where you're going to market your event. Are you going to make it public and put it on Instagram and Facebook, and you need to make some templates for that? Are you going to just keep it within the Eventbrite invitation? Are you going to advertise and market to your Facebook group? It really depends on how your business is set up and what event you're throwing. Some events that we throw are large and we open them up to the public, where other events are very small and intimate, maybe even 8 to 10 people that we're doing like a private wine tasting for, as an example. So you really have to go back to target audience and what you're having your event for and where you're having it to then determine what marketing really fits with the event itself. The 10th step is, are you going to have swag or giveaways at your event? And it's not a must by any means, but it makes it so much more fun. As far as swag goes, I always try to have something with my company name on it or be giving away something with the company name on it. But I also like to do giveaways, and what I use this for is creating a review station. I cannot recommend this enough. Set up a station at your event that is very obvious that it's tied to a giveaway, and make it something good too. And then have a QR code set up that guides them to leave you a review. Whatever platform you want them to go on, that's where the QR code will take them. I would recommend Google, but it's entirely up to you. And then have it advertised to them so that it's very clear that if they leave you a review at the event, they will automatically be entered into this giveaway, which will be announced at the end of the event. There's a lot of ways that you can set this up in terms of the verbiage, but you get the bottom line is getting them to leave you a review in exchange for the possibility of winning something really fabulous. And you can always save on your budget. See if you can get something donated by a local business, or if you have someone that has a small business that you have a relationship with, you can also use it as an opportunity to advertise and market their business as well. It's a win across the board, and I highly recommend doing a giveaway. And then, of course, wearing some type of swag to your event that has your company name on it. Next is think about signage. And again, this is optional. You don't have to have signs at your event, but I find they come in really handy, not only to guide people to where your event is, but inside the event itself. I'll go back to the example of the review station. If you have a big sign made up that says reviews, enter and win, etc., you are so much more likely to attract people to that station than if they just don't know what it is. So signs can be made up. They're super inexpensive depending on where you get them from. And if you are going to have signs made, think about focusing on something that you are going to have recurring at your events, because then of course you can reuse your signs. The other thing to think about, and this is a big one in my opinion, get people to help you at your event. You want to recruit sponsors and you want to recruit helpers at your event. It could be your best friend, it could be your mom, your dad, whomever. But when you're at these client appreciation events, you need to be free to move around and engage and appreciate your clients. That's the entire point of the event. And it's the most important factor. So you don't want to be running around checking the food and the beverage station and not talking to your clients. You're going to need helpers. Think about whether or not you want to have a photographer. And if it's not in the budget to hire a professional photographer, well, I'm sure your best friend would be happy to bust out their cell phone and get those pictures. And that's really all that you need. It doesn't have to cost a lot of money. You can recruit people that just want to help you out at this event. Assign them a job, and that will free you up to be able to move around and engage with your clients. Also keep in mind that you're going to need helpers to both set up the event and then take everything down. So just have people on deck to be able to assist you. And for the event itself, I recommend that you talk with them ahead of time and let them know what their job is during the event, so there's no confusion and they're not coming to you saying, hey, what should I be doing to help you? Last is post-event follow-up. And this is really important too. You definitely want to follow up with any referrals you received at the event, of course, but you also want to follow up with anyone new that you met. And you want to follow up with them a little bit differently than when you go to thank your clients for coming. Actually reach out to them. I would recommend a call or a text to say, hey, it was great to meet you. Let me know if there's anything that I can help you with. And then for your clients who attended, I recommend writing a handwritten note. Call it old school, call it what you want. People love handwritten notes, and it shows that you really do appreciate that they came and you value them. Depending on how big your event is, that may or may not be possible, but we've thrown events that had almost 200 people attend, and yes, I wrote a handwritten note to every single client that attended. And don't forget your sponsors. Thank them as well. You also want to make sure after the event that you are sharing this on social media. Make it known that this is how you treat your clients. They are your VIPs and you pour into them far beyond the transaction. You want other people to know about that, so you want to share some of the photos or the videos from the event that you held on social media. Client appreciation events are the golden ticket to building a thriving real estate business without ever making that dreaded cold call. Your clients can be your raving fans, and they will absolutely help you grow your business, and your business will thrive as long as you are constantly taking care of and showing them appreciation. If you found this video helpful, please hit that subscribe button and tap that notification bell so that you'll never miss a video from me. And until I see you on the next one, I hope you take care.